You are not what you have. You are not what you do. You are not even what people think you are. You are what you think you are, and right now, in this very moment, you have the power to change everything about your relationship with abundance, prosperity, and wealth. The energy that surrounds you, the invisible field that some call your aura, is broadcasting a signal every single second of every single day. That signal is either attracting wealth into your life or pushing it away. And here's the beautiful truth that will set you free. You get to decide what that signal says. Most people spend their entire lives believing that wealth is something outside of themselves. They think it's in the bank account, in the stock market, in the real estate, in the business deal. But wealth begins inside you. It starts with your consciousness. It starts with the way you see yourself and the way you see the world. If you walk around feeling poor, feeling lacking, feeling like there's never enough, then that's exactly what you're going to create more of in your life. Your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. Change what's happening inside, and you will absolutely, without question, change what's happening outside. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, but I have bills to pay. I have debt. I have obligations. I can't just think my way into wealth. And you're right about one thing. Thinking alone won't do it, but thinking is where it starts. Because you cannot behave in a way that's inconsistent with the way you see yourself. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money, you will find ways to struggle. If you see yourself as someone who is abundant, who is prosperous, who is connected to the infinite source of all supply, then you will start to behave in ways that are consistent with that vision. And that's when everything changes. Your aura, this energy field that extends from your body, is like a radio station. It's broadcasting a frequency, and the universe responds to that frequency. If you're broadcasting fear, anxiety, and scarcity, you're going to attract more situations that make you feel fearful, anxious, and scarce. But if you start broadcasting confidence, gratitude, and abundance, you're going to start attracting opportunities, people, and circumstances that match that vibration. This isn't mystical nonsense. This is how energy works. This is how consciousness works. This is how life works. Let me tell you something about the universe that most people don't understand. The universe doesn't care about your current circumstances. It doesn't care how much money is in your bank account right now. It doesn't care about your past failures or your present struggles. The universe only responds to the signal you're sending out right now, in this present moment. And that signal is determined by your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs. If you want to train your aura to attract wealth, you have to start by changing the conversation you're having with yourself about money. Listen to the words you use when you talk about wealth. Do you say things like, I can't afford that? Do you say, money doesn't grow on trees? Do you say, rich people are greedy? Every single one of those statements is training your aura to repel wealth. Every single one of those beliefs is broadcasting a signal that says, I don't want prosperity. I don't deserve abundance. Keep money away from me. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, says, your wish is my command, and keeps wealth at arm's length. But what if you started saying different things? What if you started saying, I am open to receiving wealth from expected and unexpected sources? What if you started saying, there is more than enough for everyone, including me? What if you started saying, I am worthy of prosperity and abundance? Do you feel the shift in energy when you say those words? That's your aura changing. That's your frequency rising. That's your signal getting clearer and stronger. Now, let's talk about gratitude, because this is one of the most powerful tools you have for training your aura to attract wealth. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you're telling the universe, I recognize the abundance that's already in my life. And when you recognize the abundance that's already here, the universe sends you more things to be grateful for. This is the law of attraction in its purest form. Like attracts like. Abundance attracts abundance. Gratitude attracts more reasons to be grateful. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think they'll be grateful when they have more money. They think they'll feel abundant when the bank account grows. They think they'll relax about finances when all the bills are paid. But that's backwards. You have to feel grateful now. You have to feel abundant now. You have to feel prosperous now with exactly what you have in this moment before the universe can bring you more. If you're waiting to feel good about money until you have more of it, you're going to be waiting forever. Because the feeling comes first, and then the manifestation follows. So right now, stop and think about what you're grateful for. Maybe it's the roof over your head. Maybe it's the food in your refrigerator. Maybe it's the ability to read these words. Maybe it's the fact that you woke up this morning with another chance to create the life you want. Whatever it is, feel it. Really feel the gratitude in your body. Let it fill your chest. Let it radiate out from your heart. That feeling, that's the beginning of training your aura to attract wealth. That feeling is changing your frequency right now. Let me share something with you that changed my entire relationship with money. I realized that the universe is abundant by nature. Look around you. Nature doesn't do scarcity. When an apple tree produces apples, does it produce just enough? No, it produces hundreds of apples, and each apple contains dozens of seeds, and each seed can produce another tree that produces hundreds more apples. That's abundance. That's the nature of the universe. Scarcity is a human invention. Scarcity is a belief system that we've been taught, that we've inherited, that we've accepted as truth. But it's not true. There is more than enough. There always has been. There always will be. When you align yourself with this truth, when you really get it in your bones that the universe is infinitely abundant, your entire energy field shifts. You stop competing. You stop hoarding. You stop operating from fear. You start operating from trust. You start operating from faith. You start operating from the knowing that there's plenty for everyone, and that includes you. This shift in consciousness is what trains your aura to attract wealth. Because when you're not desperate, when you're not needy, when you're not coming from a place of lack, you become magnetic to prosperity. Now, I want to talk about something that might be uncomfortable for some of you, but it's essential if you want to transform your relationship with wealth. You have to look at your beliefs about rich people. You have to look at your beliefs about money itself. If you have any resentment toward wealthy people, if you think that money is the root of all evil, if you believe that you have to sacrifice your integrity to become prosperous, then you are sabotaging your own abundance. Because how can you attract something that you're judging? How can you become something that you resent? Money is not good or bad. Money is neutral. Money is energy. It's a tool. It's a resource. It amplifies who you already are. If you're generous, money makes you more generous. If you're kind, money makes you more kind. If you're selfish, money makes you more selfish. The money itself isn't the problem. The problem is when people have a poverty consciousness and they think that having money will solve all their problems. It won't. The only thing that will solve your problems is changing your consciousness. Change your consciousness and the money will follow. But more importantly, change your consciousness and you won't need the money to feel whole, complete, and worthy. This is a critical point, so I'm going to say it again. You cannot attract wealth from a place of believing that you need it to be happy, because that belief contains within it the energy of lack. You're saying, I'm not enough without money. I'm not happy without money. I'm not complete without money. And the universe hears that and says, okay, you're not enough, you're not happy, you're not complete. And it gives you more experiences of not being enough, not being happy, not being complete. This is why so many people who come into sudden wealth through lottery winnings or inheritance end up back where they started or worse. Because they never change their consciousness. They never train their aura to match the frequency of true abundance. True abundance is an inside job. It's a state of being. It's a way of moving through the world. It's knowing that you are connected to the source of all supply, and that source is infinite. When you know this, really know this, you don't grab at money. You don't chase it. You don't obsess over it. You allow it. You welcome it. You receive it with grace and gratitude. And here's the paradox. When you stop chasing money, it starts chasing you. When you stop making it your God, it starts showing up as your servant. Let's talk about the practical side of this, because I know some of you are thinking, this all sounds good, but what do I actually do? Here's what you do. You start each day by setting your intention. Before you get out of bed, before you check your phone, before you start worrying about all the things you have to do, you take a few moments to align your energy with abundance. You say to yourself, I am open to receiving all, the good that the universe has for me today. I am a magnet for prosperity. I expect miracles. I expect synchronicities. I expect abundance to flow to me in expected and unexpected ways. Then throughout your day, you pay attention to your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking thoughts of lack, thoughts of fear, thoughts of I can't afford this or there's not enough, you stop. You don't judge yourself. You don't beat yourself up. You simply notice the thought and then you choose a different thought. You say, that's an old pattern. That's the old me. The new me thinks differently. The new me knows that there's more than enough. The new me trusts in the abundance of the universe. This takes practice. You've been thinking the old thoughts for years, maybe decades. You've been running the old programs for so long that they feel normal. But they're not serving you. They're keeping you stuck. And the beautiful thing is that you can change them. Right now, in this moment, you can decide that from this point forward, you're going to train your mind to focus on abundance instead of lack. You're going to train your emotions to feel prosperous instead of poor. You're going to train your aura to broadcast a signal of wealth instead of scarcity. And here's something else you need to understand. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you want to attract wealth, you have to become the kind of person who has wealth. You have to think like that person. You have to feel like that person. You have to act like that person. This doesn't mean you go out and spend money you don't have. This doesn't mean you pretend to be someone you're not. This means you align your consciousness with the consciousness of abundance. You start seeing opportunities where you used to see obstacles. You start seeing possibilities where you used to see problems. You start seeing abundance where you used to see lack. One of the most powerful ways to train your aura to attract wealth is to give. Now, I know this seems counterintuitive. You're thinking, I don't have enough for myself. How can I give to others? But giving is the ultimate statement of abundance. When you give, you're saying to the universe, I have more than enough. I trust that more is coming. I know that I'm connected to an infinite source. And the universe responds to that faith, to that trust, to that knowing. It says, yes, you are abundant. Here's more. This doesn't mean you give away money you need for rent or food. This means you give from a place of joy, from a place of overflow, even if that overflow is small. Maybe you give $1 to someone who needs it more than you do. Maybe you give your time to a cause you believe in. Maybe you give a genuine compliment to a stranger. Maybe you give a smile to someone who looks like they're having a hard day. Every act of giving raises your vibration. Every act of generosity trains your aura to attract more abundance. And when you give, pay attention to how you feel. If you feel resentful, if you feel like you're giving because you should or because you have to, then that's not true giving, that's obligation. True giving feels good. True giving feels expansive. True giving makes you feel more abundant, not less. When you can give with that feeling, when you can give with joy and gratitude, you're broadcasting a powerful signal to the universe. You're saying, I am prosperous, I am abundant, I have more than enough to share. And that signal attracts more prosperity, more abundance, more wealth. Now, let's talk about your relationship with receiving. This is just as important as giving, maybe even more important. A lot of people are terrible at receiving. They can give all day long, but when someone tries to give to them, they get uncomfortable. They say, oh, you didn't have to do that. They say, oh, that's too much. They say, I can't accept this. Every time you reject a gift, every time you refuse a bed, compliment. Every time you make it hard for the universe to give to you, you're training your aura to repel wealth. You're saying, I'm not worthy. I don't deserve this. Keep it away from me. If you want to attract wealth, you have to learn to receive with grace. When someone gives you a compliment, say thank you. Don't deflect it. Don't downplay it. Just receive it. When someone offers to buy you lunch, let them. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't immediately offer to pay next time. Just receive it with gratitude. When the universe sends you a gift, whether it's a parking space right in front of the store or a check in the mail you weren't expecting, receive it. Say thank you. Feel the gratitude. Let yourself feel worthy of receiving good things. This is training your aura. This is raising your frequency. This is broadcasting to the universe that you are open to receiving abundance in all its forms. And here's what happens when you get good at receiving. The universe gives you more to receive. Because the universe loves a grateful receiver. The universe loves someone who can accept good things without guilt, without shame, without feeling like they don't deserve it. When you can receive with an open heart, you're telling the universe, yes, I'm ready for more. Yes, I can handle more. Yes, I deserve more. Let me tell you about the power of expectation. What you expect in life is what you tend to get. If you expect things to be hard, they will be hard. If you expect people to disappoint you, they will disappoint you. If you expect to struggle with money, you will struggle with money. But if you expect abundance, if you expect prosperity, if you expect wealth to flow to you easily and naturally, then that's what you'll experience. Your expectations create your reality. They shape your perception. They direct your attention. They determine what you notice and what you miss. So ask yourself right now, what do I expect when it comes to money? Do I expect to struggle? Do I expect to just get by? Do I expect to barely make ends meet? Or do I expect to prosper? Do I expect to thrive? Do I expect wealth to come to me in wonderful and unexpected ways? Your honest answer to this question will tell you everything you need to know about why your financial life looks the way it does. And the good news is, you can change your expectations right now. You can decide right now that from this point forward, you expect abundance, you expect prosperity, you expect wealth. And when you change your expectations, you have to change your self-talk. The words you say to yourself matter. They matter more than the words anyone else says to you. Because you're with yourself 24 hours a day. You're listening to your own voice constantly. And if that voice is saying, I'm broke, I'm poor, I never have enough, money slips through my fingers, I'm not good with money, then that's the reality you're creating. That's the signal you're broadcasting. That's what your aura is attracting. But what if you started saying different things to yourself? What if you started saying, I am prosperous. Money flows to me easily. I am a money magnet. I am aligned with the energy of abundance. I am worthy of wealth. I am capable of managing large sums of money. I am financially free. How different would that feel? How different would your energy be if you talked to yourself this way every single day? Your aura would transform, your frequency would rise, your entire experience of life would change. Here's something most people don't realize about wealth. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And more importantly, it's about your consciousness around money. I've known people who make millions and feel poor. I've known people who make very little and feel rich. The difference is consciousness. The difference is how they see themselves. The difference is the story they tell themselves about money and about their relationship with it. You can have all the money in the world and still have a poverty consciousness. Or you can have very little money and have an abundance consciousness. Which one do you think attracts more wealth? The abundance consciousness always wins. Always. Because it's not attached to the outer circumstances. It knows that abundance is a state of being, not a state of having. It knows that true wealth is about feeling full, feeling satisfied, feeling like you have enough and you are enough. When you operate from that place, when you move through the world with that consciousness, you become magnetic, you attract opportunities, you attract the right people, you attract the right circumstances, you attract wealth. Now, I want to address something that stops a lot of people from attracting wealth: guilt. So many people feel guilty about wanting money. They feel guilty about wanting nice things. They feel guilty about wanting to live comfortably. They think that wanting wealth makes them materialistic or shallow or selfish. And this guilt is like poison to your aura. It contaminates your energy field. It sends mixed signals to the universe. On one hand, you're saying you want wealth. On the other hand, you're saying you shouldn't want wealth. And the universe gets confused. It doesn't know which signal to respond to. So it responds to the stronger signal, which is usually the guilt, the shame, the belief that you don't deserve it. Let me make this clear. There is nothing wrong with wanting wealth. There is nothing wrong with wanting to live in a beautiful home, drive a nice car, travel the world, give generously to causes you believe in, provide for your family, and live a life of comfort and ease. The only question that matters is, why do you want these things? If you want them because you think they'll make you better than other people, if you want them because you're trying to fill a hole inside yourself, if you want them to prove something to someone, then that's coming from ego. That's coming from lack. And that won't lead to true fulfillment. But if you want wealth so you can live your purpose more fully, if you want it so you can serve more people, if you want it so you can enjoy this beautiful life and share your joy with others, if you want it so you can be a living example of what's possible when you align with the abundance of the universe, then that's coming from spirit. That's coming from your highest self. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, the world needs more people who are comfortable with wealth, who can handle wealth, who can use wealth as a tool for good. So release the guilt, release the shame, release the belief that wanting wealth makes you a bad person. It doesn't. What makes you a good or bad person is what you do with the wealth once you have it. And I'm going to trust that if you're listening to these words, if you're open to this message, then you're the kind of person who would use wealth in beautiful ways. You're the kind of person who would be generous. You're the kind of person who would make a positive difference in the world. So let yourself want wealth. Let yourself desire abundance. Let yourself feel worthy of prosperity. Your worthiness is not something you earn. It's not something you have to prove. You are worthy simply because you exist. You are a divine expression of the infinite universe, and the universe wants you to thrive. The universe wants you to prosper. The universe wants you to experience abundance in all its forms. The only thing standing between you and the wealth you desire is your belief that you can't have it, or that you don't deserve it, or that it's not spiritual to want it. These are just thoughts. These are just beliefs. And thoughts and beliefs can be changed. Let me share with you a practice that will transform your aura and magnetize you to wealth. Every morning when you wake up, before you do anything else, take a few moments to feel what it would feel like to already have the wealth you desire. Don't think about it. Don't visualize it. Feel it. Feel what it would feel like to check your bank account and see a number that makes you smile. Feel what it would feel like to pay your bills without stress. Feel what it would feel like to buy something you want without having to check the price. Feel what it would feel like to be generous without worrying about your own needs. Feel what it would feel like to be financially free. Really get into that feeling. Let it fill your entire body. Let it radiate from your cells. Let it expand beyond your skin and fill the space around you. That feeling is changing your aura right now. That feeling is raising your frequency. That feeling is broadcasting a signal to the universe